What is going on? Happy Monday, everyone. Um, oh, kind of a, I don't know, kind of a shitty Monday, to be honest. Um, looks like, I've got a poor network connection. Let's see if I can remedy that, while live. If not, see what I can do. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay. Might need to hit up the Googles. I'm checking my network and it looks okay on my end. So if you're hanging out and you don't mind shooting a message in the chat and just letting me know if it looks okay or if there are any issues. It does not look great on my end, but my upload speeds aren't terrible, so I'm not sure what it could be. I think I'm going to, I'm hitting record here, just in case things go south. Sorry about the video stream, if that is indeed the case. If not, then maybe I'm complaining about nothing. I don't know. It looks funky on my screen right now. Ooh. So why did I say it was a shitty Monday? Well, so I found out today. I don't know if you all saw the news, but apparently, there was a ramen shop in Texas that was vandalized. Today. Was it today, or I don't know if it was today, but it was recently. And the basically the vandals left a bunch of graffiti all over the ramen shop that said stuff like, no masks, kung flu, kami, hope to die, ramen noodle flu. So, I mean, I'll read some of the stuff. I saw the news on Next Shark. So if you're not familiar, Next Shark is one of the leading sources for Asian American news. I know I didn't really plan on talking about news today. I'll get into some other stuff like tech and whatnot, but I'm feeling a little salty, feeling a little, I don't know, a little rough around the edges. It's not been a great past few months for me as I'm kind of processing a lot of what's been going down. So anyway, basically what went down was there was this ramen shop in San Antonio. Basically a bunch of, like I said, a bunch of racist graffiti was sort of sprayed all over the shop. Stuff like, Kung Flu, go back to China, no masks. And so basically, apparently the owner had posted something like, this post that like he is making the decision that if you're not wearing a mask, you can't enter the restaurant, which, I'm all for that kind of stance. Like, I live in New Jersey, so we still have our mask mandates in place. And I think just for the sake of staying safe until you know we're through all of this, keep doing what you can do until until we've got like what 75% of the population immunized or vaccinated. We need to do what we can. Um, so yeah. Anyways, I would support a guy who puts that kind of stuff out for his clients. And in response to the stance that he took, this is what went down. There was a bunch of racist graffiti spray painted all over his restaurant. So yeah, it's shitty. But what are you gonna do, right? I mean, granted, I say that, but honestly, you know, as much as possible, I try to get involved. I try to get, try to push messages out there and try to, attend marches and protests whenever I'm around. I know there was one here in New York City not too long ago. I was living up in Montreal at the time, so I missed the opportunity. But if another one shows up, you better believe I'll be hopping in line. So yeah. Anyway, I have thoughts. It sucks to like start off a stream with that kind of news, but I felt like it would be important to share and to kind of talk a little bit about this to raise some awareness. Like this these sort of attitudes, they don't come out of nowhere. They're obviously over the last several years, people have felt empowered to say all kinds of racist shit, to take all kinds of racist action, and I think it's really up to us as people to recognize when our leaders are wrong, to recognize when our leadership is shaping public opinion in a poor way, and to respond better. So, having said all that, I do have some other like kind of opinionated rants to go on, but more tech related, more gaming related. So I was thinking recently about there's this, like, I'm sure you've heard of it if you game on PlayStation, the game Ghost of Tsushima, and I've heard phenomenal things about the game, and I will probably potentially be playing it. I haven't fired up my PlayStation in forever, but maybe I'll pick it up. Maybe I'll give it a whirl. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it, and more like positive press keeps coming out. But I have some thoughts, and I know that a bunch of my friends are playing or have played Ghosts of Tsushima, and like I'm not trying to like put you all on blast. If you're playing the game, if you love the game, awesome. Really like enjoy a good game. And from what I understand, Ghost of Tsushima is a phenomenal game as far as video games go. The complaint that I have kind of centers more on some of the press that the game has been getting, and some of the rhetoric surrounding the reviews and what people have been saying about the larger kind of conversation about Japan, about Japan's history, and the voices of the Japanese diaspora. Hey, Joe Hernandez, thanks so much for hosting my my stream, and for the follow. Appreciate it. So I don't have all the stuff set up, like chat command set up, so I'm not sure what chat command that is. I'm new to the whole streaming thing. I'm still like researching all that stuff, so I don't know what Taco is supposed to bring up. So good luck with chat commands here. I haven't set everything up. Hopefully sometime soon I'll get that going. But yeah, so I guess I was thinking about kind of the larger issue about the Japanese diaspora and how diasporic voices like my own often kind of get lost because people would see the mainland or homeland Japanese voice as authoritative. Oh, hey Gail. Oh yeah. So I'm rocking this hoodie. I am proud as fuck to be Asian. And more so now than I think I ever have in the past. And like I I guess my own experience has always been that it's something that I was a little conflicted about growing up. I was always kind of recognized by my white friends as kind of being very white adjacent. So I felt comfortable in those circles, but looking back, I'm not as comfortable now as I was back then. And I've recognized some things, but I won't go into that too much. In any case, so there was, when the game came out and when a lot of the sort of reviews came out, hey, what's up, Icon? Good to see you too. I love your Instagram. Sorry I haven't checked into your stream. One of these days I will. But fellow PlayStation/PC gamer as well. I think I've seen you on Destiny too. So thanks for the shout. So yeah, like I think for me the issue was that this was an American company. Sucker Punch was an American company, headed up by white people, and I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. But what I think the greater concern was that Ghost of Tsushima kind of comes out as this authoritative look. Not authoritative. That's a very strong word. But it lands because of Sony's backing, because of its funding and everything around it. I mean, it was a very hyped up game for good reason. Like I said, from what I understand, the game is phenomenal. From everything that I've seen, and I will likely pick it up at some point, it looks amazing. I'm looking forward to enjoying it. But there are some concerns with, especially with respect to how the Japanese diaspora kind of views Japan's lauding of the samurai. Historically, the samurai has been this icon of how Japan wants to project itself into the world. And I think that there are some concerns, as there are with any kind of history, right? We tend to clean up our history as nations, and I think that the conversations surrounding the history of the samurai are enlightening, are very interesting, but I think can be overshadowed by such a very heavily influenced by pop culture game like Ghost of Tsushima, and a lot of the diasporic voices were shut down, and people were saying, well, you don't speak for Japan, or like look, or saying things like, Japan, the Japanese media says this about the game and they absolutely love it, and so I don't see what your problem is. And I don't think that kind of discourse is necessarily helpful to really understanding what's at the heart of people's concerns. I think the concerns about the game are multi-layered. The concerns involve things like the fact that an American company is producing a game that is seen as historical fiction, and I'll play it, and I might come to a different conclusion after playing it. From what I've heard some people tell me that they have friends who think of Ghost of Tsushima as authoritative, well researched historical take on Japanese mythology, and that's that's kind of unfortunate because again, it's a game that's based entirely in pop culture, and it's, you know, like, for example, one concern that I had was the fact that they had this thing called Kurosawa mode, and if you know anything about Kurosawa, his films were lauded not simply for their cinematic style, not simply because they were, you know, making use of, I mean, they were, you know, back in the black and white era of filming, but the game has this Kurosawa mode that basically puts it into black and white, and then, like, I guess 21:9 letterbox. And so, I don't know, it to me just sort of smacks of reductionist of what Kurosawa films really were. I don't know. I feel like I'm shitting on the game, and I know that it's probably going to be a lot of fun, and I'll probably really enjoy it. But I do want to have these sorts of conversations. I do want to get some thoughts on, share my thoughts and get some thoughts on this. So there's a really well put together article in the Washington Post. It was published back in October, around the time the game came out, October 2020. Obviously, by David Shimomura, who, like me, is a part of the Japanese diaspora, and like his concern was very similar in that a lot of the rhetoric that's coming from the West is really trying to push back against diasporic voices and using the homeland Japanese voices as backing for their stance to really attack the various Western folks of Japanese descent who feel a little bit uncomfortable with some of the rhetoric surrounding the game and some of what the game has been sort of pushing as far as samurai mythology and history goes. So I highly recommend it. The article is called "What We Talk About When We Talk About Ghosts of Tsushima." Again, it's by David Shimomura, and I highly recommend it. I think it's worth a read. Yeah. So what else? Oh, I haven't even hopped into any whiskey tonight. I know that's in the title. So tonight I am drinking my all-time favorite. Well, I'm drinking a scotch from my all-time favorite Scottish distillery, Talisker. And this is the 10-year because it's a scotch and I can't really afford anything aged more than that. So I will be sipping on this while I... calm down, mate. I will be sipping on this while I game tonight. So here it is. Beautiful amber color. Cheers. I'm gonna get all pretentious here. My girlfriend makes fun of me for this, but I love it. So, you know, if you're not familiar with whiskey, there is several versions of something called the whiskey flavor wheel that you can look up and you can use if you're looking into getting into whiskey. And I highly recommend it. It's a great drink. It's a great it's a great type of drink, great category of drink to get into. So Scotch whiskey is any whiskey that is distilled in Scotland. It has to come from Scotland. It has to be distilled and barreled and bottled and aged in Scotland in order for it to be called a Scotch. If it is a whiskey made anywhere else, it is not a Scotch. Similarly, if a whiskey is made outside of America, it is not a bourbon. Even if it might be the same recipe as a bourbon, it's not a bourbon if it's made outside of America, or made outside of the States. So anyway, so the whiskey flavor wheel. This wheel is very helpful for picking out flavors if you're getting started in whiskey and you're trying to figure out the complexity of the different flavors that you might be picking up in whiskey. Definitely use the flavor wheel, especially if your palate isn't if you don't have a lot of practice with your palate. So if you do, if you're like a wine drinker or and you're well versed in picking out flavors in wines, even in foods, if you're very good at finding the different ingredients through just eating a meal, then you might not need the flavor wheel. But I like to refer to it from time to time. But this scotch is so distinct, and its flavors are very I guess I'm being redundant. They are very distinct. So yeah. So I guess I start with a nose. Also, by the way, if you're drinking scotch, if you're drinking any kind of whiskey, I would recommend picking up one of these. It's called the Glencairn glass. It's a Scottish glass, but it is kind of the perfect glass for getting a lot in the nose. So one of the things about fragrances, I know I'm talking a lot about other stuff, I'm talking about whiskey, and I gotta get to Cyberpunk soon. But anyway, let's just talk about whiskey for now. I'll hop into Cyberpunk soon. But so one of the things about fragrances is that when a liquid is very pungent in its fragrance, that fragrance can really come through well in a rounded glass. Hence why you might notice the fragrance and then the flavor on top of that more if you're drinking something out of something like this, as opposed to drinking it out of like a tumbler. And you definitely get more in the nose when you drink out of something like a Glencairn as opposed to a tumbler. So one thing I would say about the nose of this whiskey is that it's very leathery. I get a lot of the peat in the nose, and it's smoky. It reminds me of a campfire. And get into it. Cheers. Every time. It's a very spicy whiskey. Very, very smoky. That smokiness stays with you. Getting a little bit of I guess maybe some coriander. Very mossy. Has a hint of grass. I know this doesn't sound like great flavors, but they are very good when combined together. Okay, I don't want to get too far into it because I don't want to be plastered while I'm playing. Actually, that could be fun. Okay, so Cyberpunk. I think it's probably wise of me to mention spoiler alert, or to just say spoiler alert. I am pretty far into the game now. I know last time I said that on the stream that I was right at the point where, I guess, the point of no return for the campaign. So I've gotten a little bit into it. I've met with Hanako to fill you in on my decisions. I decided not to take Hanako up on her offer, at least the first time around. And I guess that's really all I did. I think I'm still on the rooftop with Johnny Silverhand. So I think that's where I left off. I might not have made a decision yet. Not sure. I guess we'll find out. So yeah. Okay. I will I'll go ahead and dive into it. But I don't know. I still keep getting this message that like my ooh, that is no good. I'm dropping frames like crazy. Yikes. Okay, what? I don't know if I can change that while I'm in the middle of a stream. I think. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see what I can do here, because if I'm dropping frames, that sucks for you, and I'm really sorry. Streaming to. Okay. Oh, I can't change any of these settings while I am live. So. Okay. Well, fingers crossed. I do apologize if it is unbearable. Shoot a message into the chat and let me know, and maybe I will just go ahead and restart the stream. I hate to do that, but you know, it's I guess it's better than having a shitty stream. But I don't know. There aren't a lot of you in there, so I may not get any kind of messaging. But that's fine. You know what? At the end of the day, I'm kind of just doing this for myself. And not really to gain a huge following or anything. So not too concerned. But I still am. You know what? I am concerned because I don't want to produce a shitty stream. That would suck. And you all then won't get to enjoy some cyberpunk. Alright, well, I guess in the meantime, I will... You know what? I'm gonna pause this, and I will be right back. Give some beats to listen to. Wow, you know what? None of my not none, but like a lot of my widgets kind of disappeared, which is a bummer. I had some good widgets here, so you could kind of see the song, so you could see the song that I've got playing while we're in the stream. But man, all that stuff just disappeared. Like I just noticed it now, so probably should have checked that before getting on. But all right. Anyway, let me hit pause. I will be back in a minute.